Polymorphism is one of the core principles of object-oriented programming, and it allows us to build applications that can be easily extended. I'm going to show you that in a second. But first, let's define what polymorphism means. Poly means many, morph means form. So polymorphism means many forms. And this refers to a situation where an object can take many different forms. This is a very powerful technique. So let's see it in action. So here in our main function, we have a text box. We pass that to the showWidget function. And over here, we draw it on the terminal. Now let's add a new kind of widget, like a checkbox. So back to our project, let's add a new class called checkbox. Now, in this file, first we're going to include the widget header file. So include widget. Then we have this class, extend the widget class. Now, in this class, we're going to override the draw method. So we can bring up the generate palette by pressing Command and N on Mac or Control and N on Windows. Now here we can override functions. The shortcut is Control and O. Now on this dialog box, we can see all the methods that are declared as virtual in the base class. Currently, only the draw method. So let's go ahead and override this method. Now in this definition, there's a call to the draw method of the base class. We don't really need it. Instead, we're going to print drawing a checkbox. Now let's include IOStream and use the std namespace. Okay. Now back to the main file. On the top, we need to include the checkbox header file. Now in our main function, here we have a text box. We're passing it to the showWidget function. Similarly, we can create a checkbox and pass it to the showWidget function as well. Now, when we run the program, we see drawing a text box and drawing a checkbox. Now, this is where polymorphism happens. So the showWidget function has a parameter of type widget. Now, at runtime, depending on the type of object we pass here, this widget takes many different forms. So in this scenario, it's taking the form of a text box. In this other scenario, it's taking the form of a checkbox. This is polymorphism in action. Now, polymorphism is a very powerful technique, and there's a lot we can do with it that goes outside the scope of this course. So after you finish this course, if you want to learn more about object-oriented programming and polymorphism, go watch my Design Patterns course. In that course, which is 3 parts, I've covered a lot of techniques that involve polymorphism.